Subscribe SS Bhushan!
Hi viewers, welcome to SS Bhushan's channel. I am SS Bhushan. In my earlier class, we learned about verb in our parts of speech. Now we shall deal with that verb in a detailed manner. What is meant by a verb? It is not verbal, it is verb. What is meant by a verb? A verb is a word according to Latin. A verb is a word. That means it is an important word in a sentence. It is a vital or key word in a sentence. So that keyword is verb form. So verbs are mainly divided into two categories. They are main verbs and auxiliary verbs. Main verbs and auxiliary verbs. Main verbs are also called as lexical verbs, full verbs, ordinary verbs. Whatsoever may be the nomenclature given by various grammarians or English teachers, the universal acceptance is that main verbs. Main verbs and auxiliary verbs. Auxiliary verbs are also known as helping verbs. Those two words are universally accepted by all the teachers, and auxiliary verbs are also called as helping verbs. Now coming to this main verb. Any main verb has three forms basically. That is present tense, past tense and past participle. This is present, this is past and this is past participle. Okay. Or the other way of identifying or recognizing them is like V1, V2, V3. And there are other English teachers who add another one to these three forms, that is V1 plus ing, that is ing form of verb form, or some say it as V4. Okay, let them say. There is nothing wrong in it. No third world war happens if we say V4 also. So let them say. But this is the way. Generally we divide V1, V2, V3 or present tense, past tense and past participle. And this is in form of verb form, or we even say it as present participle also. Now coming to these forms. V1. Let us take begin. Began is the past tense. Begun is the past participle. Next one, choose, chose, chosen. Drink, drank, drunk. Eat, ate, eaten. Bring, brought, brought. Catch, caught, caught. Dig, dug, dug. Find, found, found. Burst, burst, burst. Cost, cost, cost. Cut, cut, cut. Put, put, put. So when we take into consideration these first three categories, that is 1, 2, 3, there is again a particular name for it. That is, these verb forms in total are called as irregular verb forms, or they are also called as strong verbs. Here again, if we go into depth, this first category, in this first category, you can find that all the three forms are different. That is, first time, these verb forms, these irregular verb forms are again subdivided into three kinds. Out of these three, this first category, if you observe the verb forms, begin, began, begun, all the three forms are different. Now, coming to bring, brought, brought. This is one category. Any two forms are different. This is the second category. Next, third one, burst, burst, burst. All the three forms are alike. For example, cut, 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 put, put. So here we can't say it as put to do or put ed. We can't add like that. So these are called irregular or strong verbs. Next, coming to the other category, that is, for example, walked. In this verb form you can find this ed, here also ed. In the same manner, believe, d is added and d is added here. So what is the name given to these kind of verb forms? The name is weak verb forms or regular verb forms. Here it is named as irregular verb forms or strong verb forms. And for these verb forms it is named as weak verb forms or regular verb forms. Generally weak verb forms are formed by adding d or ed or some to some words even t is also added. For example, lent. So some grammarians say that they can be classified or brought into this category of weak or regular verb forms. Spent also. So the opposite is irregular or strong, and here the name is also somewhat different. Try to remember it. Irregular but strong, weak and regular. Okay, so here if you observe the first category, simply try to remember that there are mainly two verbs, main verbs and helping verbs. And these main verbs are divided into V1, V2, V3 or classified into V1, V2 and V3. And these verb forms are formed in such a manner that each one has one specialty. I mean each category has a specialty. That is, two forms are totally different. The three forms are totally different. First category. And the second one is any two forms are alike, that is the second category. All the three forms are alike, that is the third category. Whereas coming to the weak forms or regular forms, d or ed or t is added in the past tense or past participle. Now, one more thing which I would like to tell you is that generally in almost all the grammar books, these irregular verbs are given and these regular verbs or weak verbs are not mentioned. These irregular verbs are mentioned because they are limited in number. Just around some 250 words are there. So that is the reason it would be easy for the publishers or the writers to mention about the irregular verb forms only, and they won't mention about these weak or regular verb forms which are numerous. These irregular verb forms constitute only 1% or 2% of the entire verb community. Only 1 or 2%. Whereas coming to these verb forms, regular or weak verb forms, they are numerous. So that is the reason it is not possible to mention in any grammar book. For example, this is my grammar book, and even in this grammar book also, the book which I had released for DSc English in the year 2015, and in this book also I have mentioned only what are called as irregular verb forms. Only irregular verb forms. Not only in this, even P.C. Wren and Martin, next J.C. Nusfield, Raymond Murphy, or Dakshinamurti, or N.K. Agarwal, whatsoever may be the grammar book which you take, you can find that only irregular verb forms are mentioned. Now coming to the other category, other classification, that is auxiliary verbs or helping verbs. The name auxiliary itself means help or support or lend some support. These auxiliary verbs are again divided into modal auxiliaries and primary auxiliaries. Modal auxiliaries and primary auxiliaries. Okay. So here the primary auxiliaries are can be given or put under the head be form, do form and have forms. Under the be forms, am, is, are, was, were, being can be brought into. And under the do forms, do, does, did, done, doing can be brought into. And under the heading have forms, we can bring has, have, having, had to. So these are called primary auxiliaries. They give support to the main verb. Just now I have mentioned that they give support. Primary verb, auxiliary means helping verbs. So whom they help? They help the main verbs. Now coming to the modal auxiliaries. Modal auxiliaries are can, could, will, would, shall, should, must, ought to, have got to, had to, need to, dare to, used to. And coming to these modal auxiliaries, I may forget to tell you afterwards. So need to, dare to, used to are also named as marginal auxiliaries or semi-modal auxiliaries by some grammarians. And coming to these primary auxiliaries can function both as main verbs as well as helping verbs. For example, I am doing my work. In this sentence, I am doing my work. Am helps the main verb do. So it is called as helping verb. Understood? So here it is helping verb. I am a teacher. I am a lecturer. I am a professor. Then this am plays the role of a main verb. We need not find for any other verb form there. Am itself is the main verb. Understood? So the name given to it is called primary because they act sometimes as a main verb and sometimes as a primary verb also. That means as a helping verb. So now coming to these modal auxiliaries. Modal auxiliaries can't be used independently. For example, can you, me. If I say like this, is there any meaning in this sentence? Or could you, me. Is there any meaning in this sentence? No. Because the main verb is missing and without that main verb, this sentence can't be followed or can't be understood. So, can you hear me? Can you listen me? Can you watch me? Could you help me? So, when we put the word here or help, then only the utility or the use of these auxiliaries can be understood. I forgot to tell you, may and might also come under the category of modal auxiliaries. Okay. Now one more thing which I would like to tell you is that the words which I have used, for example, this marginal auxiliaries, semi-modal auxiliaries, and next coming to irregular verbs, strong, irregular or strong verbs, weak or regular verbs. Generally, we can't expect these kind of questions in any competitive examinations, whether it is UPSC or Staff Selection Commission or NDA or Combined Defense Services or DSC. Generally, we don't expect these kind of things. But for PGTs, postgraduate teachers in English, trained graduate teachers in English, we can expect these type of questions, especially in methodology part. We can expect these type of questions in detail. This is what is meant by a marginal auxiliary out of the 3 or 4 given. So then you must be able to identify them as need to, dare to, or used to are called marginal auxiliaries. Okay. Now in my next class we shall deal with finite verbs and non-finite verbs. Stay tuned to SS Bhushan. Please like, share and subscribe SS Bhushan. Thank you for watching SS Bhushan.